sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fear relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. My chains are gone, I've been set free. My God, my Savior has ransomed me. And like a flood, His mercy reigns. Unending love, amazing grace. The Lord has promised good to me. His word my hope secures. He will my shield and portion be, as long as life endures. My chains are gone, I've been set free. My God, my Savior has ransomed me. And like a flood, His mercy reigns. Unending love, amazing grace. The earth shall soon dissolve like snow. The sun forbear to shine, but God who called me here below will be forever mine. Will be forever mine. You are forever mine. My chains are gone, I've been set free. My God, my Savior has ransomed me. And like a flood, His mercy reigns. Unending love, amazing grace. My chains are gone, I've been set free. My God, my Savior has ransomed me. And like a flood, His mercy reigns. Unending love, amazing grace. And like a flood, His mercy reigns. Unending love, amazing grace. I've heard 1,000 stories of what they think you're like, but I've heard the tender whisper of love in the dead of night, and you tell me that you're pleased and that I'm never alone. You're a good, good Father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are. Oh, I've seen many searching for answers, far and wide, but I know we're all searching for answers. Only you provide, 'cause you know just what we need before we say a word. You're a good, good Father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are, and I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. You're a good, good Father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are, and I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways. Too you are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways. You are perfect in all of your ways. Oh, it's love so undeniable. I can hardly speak. Peace so unexplainable. I can hardly think as you call me. Deeper still as you call me. Deeper still as you call me. Deeper still into love, love, as you call me. Deeper still as you call me. Deeper still as you call me. Deeper still into love, love. You're a good, good Father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are, and I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. You're a good, good Father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are, and I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. You're a good, good Father.
Verses 1 to 18. In the beginning was the one who is called the Word who was with God, and was truly God. From the very beginning, the Word was with God. And with this Word, God created all things. Nothing was made without the Word. Everything that was created received its life from him, and his life gave light to everyone. The light keeps shining in the dark, and darkness has never put it out. God sent a man named John, who came to tell about the light and to lead all people to have faith. John wasn't that light. He came only to tell about the light. The true light that shines on everyone was coming into the world. The Word was in the world, but no one knew him. Though God had made the world with his Word, he came into his own world, but his own nation did not welcome him. Yet some people accepted him and put their faith in him, so he gave them the right to be the children of God. They were not God's children by nature or because of any human desires. God himself was the one who made them his children. The Word became a human being and lived here with us. We saw his true glory, the glory of the only Son of the Father. From him the complete gifts of undeserved grace and truth have come down to us. John spoke about him and shouted, "This is the one I told you would come. He is greater than I am, because he was alive before I was born." Because of all that the Son is, we have been given one blessing after another. The law was given by Moses, but Jesus Christ brought us undeserved kindness and truth. No one has ever seen God. The only Son, who is truly God and is closest to the Father, has shown us what God is like.
Used to be that you had to go to Iceland or Sweden or Finland or Norway or Russia or Canada or Alaska to go to see the Northern Lights, and some people have been there and not even seen them. All you've got to do is be in Frinton-on-Sea and you get to see the Northern Lights. Now we have got some slides, if we could have one up, please. I'll wait for them because these pictures took me ages to find. So. And the next one, please. There we go. Anyone know where that is? Frinton, is it? Good. I think it's Brightlingsea, but never mind. It doesn't matter. But just one of the pictures that was out there. And I know on our WhatsApp chats and things, loads of people put pictures up of things that they saw. But also, what else have we had recently? We've had spectacular moons, haven't we? We've had the harvest moon. Next slide, please. There we are, harvest moon. That normally occurs around the 23rd of September, sometimes around that time. Tie in with harvest, as you'll know, and hence the name of it. It's quite obvious, isn't it? And then more recently, was it just last week? We had, anyone know what it was? Hunter's moon, yes. Yeah, next slide, please. There we go. We had the Hunter's moon as well. And that normally occurs this time of year, or very occasionally beginning of November. Very spectacular sights we've had in our skies, haven't we? Also been supermoons, which is when the closest the moon comes in its orbit around to Earth. I think we've had 3 this year, I think. So light, we know, is a very powerful thing, isn't it? When we see these things in the sky, it's very powerful, isn't it? And it's simply a reflection, isn't it, of God's glory. Light's a powerful symbol in the Bible. It symbolizes or represents God's presence. It represents his guidance, his truth, his goodness, his knowledge, his grace, and his hope. And let us just remember that this same moon that we've been looking at over our past weeks and things is the same moon that Paul would have seen when he wrote those words that were read out to us. And the same moon he would have seen when he was on his missionary journey, sailing on the boats and what have you. It's the same moon he would have seen. The same as John the Baptist. Same moon that he would have been looking at as well. It's the same moon that we look at today. And the same moon that Jesus saw 2,000 years ago. But when you've been outside and seen this moon, we see how bright it is, don't we? And it can be so bright some nights that it just lights your way up, doesn't it? There's no need for you to carry a torch or whatever. You can go out in the garden and it's so bright, you know, it's really quite spectacular. But what is profound is that this moon that looks so spectacular doesn't have any light whatsoever. In fact, the moon's pretty boring, really, because it's a sort of a off-white, browny grey colour through all the minerals that create that grey dust on the moon. It's got no colour to it, really, at all. The moon, unlike the sun, doesn't produce any of its own light. Instead, it gets its light from the sun. It only reflects the light that comes from the sun. And this is the lesson for us this morning, isn't it? It explains creation perfectly and what it means to be a witness of Christ to others. And the verse I want to pick up on what Sue read, if we can have the next slide, please. I don't know if you could read it, but it says, I'll read it out. John 1, verse 6. There was a man sent from God whose name was John. He came as a witness to testify concerning the light, so that through him all might believe. He himself was not the light. He came only as a witness to the light. And we ourselves as Christians this morning, we're not the light, are we? We're not the source of light at all. We merely reflect the light of Jesus by believing in him and walking in his spirit. And when John wrote that account that was read out to us, his intention was that people in his day and ours later when we come to read it would be able to believe who Jesus really was, that he was fully God, he was fully human, on account of what Jesus said and did. And he also wanted those early Christians to reflect the light, to reflect Jesus in their lives, to their friends, to their family and to their community. So in those opening words on the account of Jesus, John wrote an amazing statement about Jesus' cousin, John the Baptist. And he wanted them to see how John the Baptist was a great example of them to follow in spreading the gospel to others. Like John the Baptist, who was so boldly pointed others to Jesus Christ, he encouraged all believers to follow his example and be witnesses to the light. John the Baptist acted like a moon, if you like. He wasn't the light himself, he just reflected Jesus' light. He was a witness to that light. And we too can be like the moon to a dark world, and we can reflect the light of Jesus Christ. As a church, as a group of people, as a community of light, the moon reflects that sunlight. We need to reflect the light and love of Christ to one another and those around us. Matthew 5:14, we've already had some of it read out to us today, but if we can have the next slide, I think it's on there. You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. So we're not only recipients of the light, we're also bearers of it. Christians in this world must be a visible light to the lost world. That means our actions and our words and our deeds must shine brightly amongst everyone we're around, offering hope and encouragement to those around us. And in a world that can often feel dark, our light can lead others to the love and truth of Christ. When Chris gave her testimony, she twice mentioned that there's people in the Thorpe Baptist whose Jesus shone through them. And that affected her and affected her decisions. And that's our role, isn't it? And if you think of ourselves like a candle, it doesn't take much light to light up a dark room. Just put one candle in a dark room. And you might feel that your witness is not doing much or it's difficult in this world. But light shines the brightest in the darkest of places. So let's take some encouragement from the moon. The next time you're outdoors at night or looking through your window, remember that we're not the light. We are merely witnesses to the light. And this morning we're coming to take from the table in a short while, a couple of minutes. And we're doing it, isn't it, to remember Jesus, to remember what he's done for us and what he came to do in this world. And our question this morning, or my question this morning, is how do people in the darkness remember Jesus? We will take this today and remember Jesus. And then we go outside and about the people we see in the street or our neighbours or our family. How do they remember Jesus? And I think the way they do it, well, they probably don't remember Jesus, do they? They'll remember Jesus through your actions, through your dealings with them, through the way that you shine out for him in their life. That's how the people in the dark will see Jesus, because you will be that candle. So it's not through any of our power that people can be saved at all. We can only point people to Jesus. Let us be intentional in seeking his presence and sharing his love with others. And may our lives shine brightly, guiding those in darkness towards the true light.
I'm just going to read it to you because I am so out of my comfort zone up here. My testimony is a story of missed opportunities, in inverted commas, and God's faithfulness and perfect timing. It took about 25 years for me to finally come to know him personally and enter into that relationship with him. And I hope it will encourage those of you who have people in your family or friends that haven't made commitments yet, and those who've got prodigals that you're praying for. It will also show that just believing in God doesn't make you a Christian, neither does going to church. and also that we need to disciple and get alongside new and young Christians to enable them to grow and be equipped for the challenges to their faith that life will throw at them. I was christened as a baby, but I didn't go to church as a child. I was just too shy and timid to attend a Sunday school or even go to brownies at the church, which I desperately wanted to. When I was in my early teens, I decided that I wanted to get confirmed, and so I went along to a confirmation class at my local parish church. Decided that I believed all the things that I'd be asked and that I could make those promises, and so got confirmed. I started to go along to church with my mum, but there was no Sunday school, and indeed no other young people there, and no follow-up teaching or discipling, so I didn't grow in my faith and wasn't prepared to deal with those things that would come along in life to throw me off course with my walk with God. The first of those was when I was 16. I went on holiday with my mum and dad and my best friend and her parents, and I met Paul on a beach in Anglesey in Wales. And although he had to go home soon after, we decided we wanted to stay in touch, and we began going out together. He was 17, soon to be 18. The problem was that I lived in Leicester and he lived in Sheffield, 100 miles apart. Our weekends were now spent, me travelling up one weekend on the train to stay with his parents, the next weekend him driving down to stay with my parents, usually late Saturday after he'd played football. Time together was precious, and the main day that we had together was a Sunday. Going to church stopped being my main priority. During this time, I went on a residential weekend with the Leicester Schools Orchestra and became aware that there was a group of young people meeting up in the evenings for prayer meetings. I really wanted to go along, but wasn't invited, as they didn't know I was interested, and I was too lacking in confidence to invite myself along. That was the first missed opportunity. Paul and I got married when I was 20 and I moved to Sheffield. Paul wasn't interested in going to church. I didn't know anyone there who went to church, and so I didn't go either. We had our first child, Katie, in Sheffield, and I met another young mum who invited me to go to her church with her. I went and enjoyed the service until it was time to take Katie to creche. She wouldn't settle, and so I left early and didn't go back. Another missed opportunity. We moved to Rochdale with Paul's job, made friends up there, and when our second child, James, came along, I started to go to a mums and toddlers group in the local parish church. Whilst there, the vicar invited the young mums to an evening where we'd be able to ask any questions we had. I don't think he was prepared for the deep theological questions I asked, though, and I came away frustrated with unanswered questions. Another missed opportunity. Then when Katie was 6 and James 4, we decided to move south, and Paul got a transfer to Harwich. We moved and settled in Thorpe-le-Soken, and I decided I wanted Katie and James to go to Sunday school, and the three of us started to go along to St Michael's in Thorpe. They were short of Sunday school leaders, and so asked me to help out in Sunday school. At the same sort of time as this, Katie and James started going to campaigners at Thorpe Baptist Church. This involved parade services once a month when the parents were invited to go along. They ran a holiday club there, and myself and my friend Julie Claxton offered to help with this club. We were quite put out when Martin Cooper, one of the leaders of the club there, told us we were welcome to help, but couldn't be leaders of a group as we weren't committed Christians. We both felt that we were. I went to church, I believed in Jesus and God, and I even helped in Sunday school. That was a wake-up call for me, and I also noticed a real difference in the people there at the Baptist church. They had a joy and a peace, and their faith shone out of them. They had something different about them that I really wanted. I decided to find out what they had that I didn't. But I felt I just couldn't leave the parish and go over the road to the Baptist church. That would be too rude. James at that time had two lovely teachers doing a job share, Linda Edgell and Alison Brown, who many of you will know, who both went to the Frinton Free Church. And coincidentally, I'd started chatting to a mum at Katie's swimming class, who also went to Frinton Free. All three of them invited me to go along with them to that church, and so myself, Katie and James all started attending services there. We all loved it. The kids both enjoyed Sunday school and made really lovely friends there. I found the worship amazing and moving. The sermons were interesting, challenging and informative. I still had lots of questions though, so I decided to go on an inquirer's course, which was similar to the Alpha courses now. So fortunate to have three great people running that course, Donna and Enid Harrington and Marilyn Rowlandson, whose husband Morris worked for Billy Graham as his UK right-hand man. They were patient, kind, wise, listened to all my questions, and finally I got answers. I made a commitment and my life changed. I was different. I found the peace, fulfillment, contentment and joy that I'd seen shining out of the people at Thorpe Baptist. I no longer needed to seek approval and acceptance from others. I'd found my identity in Christ. Marilyn took me and another lady under her wing, patiently discipling us with Bible studies, discussions, guidance, answering questions, etc., equipping us as new Christians to move forwards in our newfound faith. Over the next few years, Katie made a commitment and got baptised. I got baptised, and then James made a commitment at FM, praying the prayer with his group leader, Tim, never imagining that Tim would in time become his brother-in-law. When James then decided to get baptised, Paul decided he'd better go along to Frinton Free Church to see what this cult was that had taken over his family. He went, and about 6 or 7 Alpha courses later, well, that's his story, which I'm sure he will share with any of you who would like to know. When I wrote this testimony down and was praying about it just yesterday, God revealed that what I've always viewed as missed opportunities, they were actually God bringing about his perfect plan and his perfect timing, holding on to me and reminding me that I wanted to find out more about him, but waiting for all the pieces to be in place, the right location, the right people around me to help and disciple me, and most importantly, the right timing to enable my whole family to come to faith in him. Thank you.
The splendor of the King, clothed in majesty, let all the earth rejoice, all the earth rejoice. He wraps himself in light, and darkness tries to hide, and trembles at his voice, trembles at his voice. How great